All right, it's Ferguson time again. I think I have successfully calmed down enough to tackle this project, because what you don't know is I've already tackled it once between now and when you last saw it, and I'll explain that in a minute. So here we go. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man. This is a 30 Ferguson, which belongs to my uncle. Bought new by my great-grandpa. We talked about that. We did all this work. We got it all put back together. New governor, and we had zero governor action. You can see in some of those videos, maybe not because I probably cut it out. Okay, sorry, ADD kicked in and I lost my whole train of thought. I went and did something else. But anyway, as I was saying, in that video where I put it together, I messed with it and messed with it and messed with it. I took the rod loose and worked the carburetor by hand, and I was getting nothing. Nothing at all out of this. It would kind of twitch a little bit, and then that was it. I could not seem to get any sort of action where it was going to move this. I mean, if it wouldn't do it without the rod on, there's no way it would do it with the rod on. So, the other day, I thought, foolishness, you know, I'm going to just figure this out. And I came out here and started messing with it, and I filmed everything I did. However, after watching it, I don't think there is 2 minutes of usable footage in that, because there were so many animal sounds that it just wasn't worth it. So I walked away again, mainly because I broke something, but I'll explain that in a second. So, what took place when I was trying to figure out what, you know, I thought I was going to have to tear this down again and figure out what in the world could be wrong. When I edited that first video, putting the governor in, the only thing I could see that possibly maybe could have kind of sort of been an issue, and I'll put a picture in of the screenshot of what I'm talking about. When I was messing and showing how that was bolted on there and everything, there was one ball that looked like it was out. And it wasn't in, you know, and I even in the thing flipped some of the different ones up and you could see them drop down in the slots. But for some reason I didn't flip that one that seemed to be just hanging in the outer position. So I was kind of second guessing myself there and thinking, well, maybe that ball was trapped between the cage and that thing and it wasn't moving freely, and maybe that was causing my governor problem. But when I was messing with that cover, you could actually feel, and when I say cover, I mean the actual governor cover, not this timing cover. You could feel that all those balls were rolling down, and then I could shove it all the way in. And I think if that ball was stuck out, I wouldn't have been able to shove it all the way in like I was. So then I thought, well, maybe I didn't get that little tab at exactly 8 o'clock, and maybe it's broke off or whatever. No, I don't think that's it. I'm pretty sure that that was perfect. I mean, there wasn't any problem. So I messed and messed with it, and I read the book, and I watched YouTube videos on people doing it, because it's altogether not the way that I just couldn't wrap my head around this. When I do it on Oliver tractors, I set the throttle to wide open and then make the rod so that it's off by like a half a hole, and then you got great governor action. Well, when I did that on here, I got nothing. So in that video, I'm messing and messing with it. I actually watched another video where the guy set it the opposite way totally. He sets it with it at idle and then did that. And I thought, well, maybe try that, you know. I was messing with it, and I had the rod unhooked again, and I got the governor to work. And I don't know exactly what I did, if it just needed to wear in a little bit. So I had arm movement then. It was moving on its own, and you could see it go back and forth, and all was well with the world. And I thought, we got us something. So then I adjusted it back up, and no governor action. And I played and played with it until finally I found the sweet spot where this has to be to get it to work. And I don't understand why it's working in this adjustment, because this is not at all the way that I would have adjusted it if I set out to. This rod is lengthened pretty considerably, and so I'm not exactly sure why, but I don't care at this point. It's working, and that's what I need. Maybe something else is wore you know, there is slop in the pinholes. That's probably contributing to some of it, but still, it's strange that it just magically started working. So I was thrilled about that. I got it where I thought this was right, so I hooked it back up where it should be, and it seemed to be working. Then I went backwards and started adjusting linkage like it showed in all those videos and in the shop book. For one, there was a little throttle drift, so I adjusted this. It's got like a stop back there. I don't know that I really could film, or I filmed it, but like I said, I threw that video away. It was garbage because there were too many animals in it. Then after that, I loosened this because when it was at idle, this little deal here is hooked to a spring, and it's supposed to just touch this rod when it's at idle, okay? Then our issue was, which led to my breaking something, the rod that goes down vertically through this spring was shoving it to idle too much. I needed to shorten this rod to make it do what I wanted it to do. Well, when I was trying to take it loose, I broke the little, now I can't even find the extra pieces of it. Well, here's this one. But I broke the little ball joint thing that goes in this arm, and it goes on the top of this rod here. So there you can see, snapped her off. So I took this off and heated it all up and got everything where it turns now so I can adjust it accordingly. And I ordered a new one of these, which consequently the only place I could find it was from Agco. And here's the number of the little ball joint. So that's where we are. We're going to put this rod back on, and I'm going to try to shorten it. Then I'll have to put the alternator back on so we can run it and see if we don't, in fact, have it the way we want it. And I really hope we do, because that means it's done. And that means we don't have to tear it apart again. And more importantly, it means I might get paid for this endeavor, which would be dandy, because there's a lot of money wrapped up in stuff like this. I do also have the new rotor, and I have 4 spark plugs to go in it, which I hadn't done yet. So we'll do that, and then we'll probably end up twisting one off in the head, and then have to take it all apart anyway. But we're going to start with this, and hopefully finally make some progress in the right direction. So I don't know how easy this is going to go, or how difficult it's going to go. We'll start there because, let's face it, it's going to be difficult. Nothing in our life is ever simple. But the way this has to work, and I got to get it, I'm not talking very plainly, but you see what I mean. So this has to go actually behind this arm and through this spring. And then it has to be in such a way that you can, like, and I don't have it adjusted right now at all either, but that spring just hangs in there. So I need to turn it a little more so that my top piece will go in. And I guess I could just do that. Let's see here. I want to go about like that. Now, if all is to be believed, this rod's job is not only to shove it to idle, but it also controls your high idle speed. And so, unfortunately, what I think that's going to mean is that there's not going to be really a good way to change it once it's all bolted together, because the alternator's right in the way, you know. So I don't want to be taking that alternator on and off and on and off. But I do want this to be together and finished. So right now we're at idle, and it's shoving down, and this is touching this arm. And then when we pull it up, it's stretching this spring, and that's going to give us our high idle. So that's what we want. If everything is just going to play nice and continue to work in such a way where happiness ensues for a change instead of always sadness, you know. It's really getting old to have nothing work lately. Not just on tractors, but just in life, you know? Things just don't seem to be going our way. Now, we're going to have the problem where I should have brought 2 wrenches because I'm not going to be able to get this adjustable spinning. So I guess I could try this and just do the opposite of what I would normally do and just turn the backside, right? Wouldn't that make sense? Yeah. And surprisingly enough, this ball joint thing is very affordable. I think it was under $20, so that is handy for you if you have that problem. I'll have to look at the bill. I might be wrong, but I remember looking at the price and thinking, that ain't bad. I figured it'd be like a $60, $70 piece just because they could, but it's not. Okay, I think we're there. Okay, now what we have to do, we have a whole conglomeration of stuff, spacer-wise, to put back in our alternator. And I don't remember now which way it was. We'll figure it out. Okay. It was against the front. So that means everything goes in the back of this, which means the trouble I had the other day, I couldn't get the belt to come off there in that other video, which led to a lot of the animal sounds. And so it was just easier to just take this thing totally off. However, then when you put it back, that also makes more work for yourself. And it may be because I'm trying to do too good of a job too, you know. Some people would just hammer her home and let her go. And I just can't do that. So, at least not on this. I mean, we got a lot of time wrapped up in this, fellers. My hope is, though, that he doesn't have any trouble with this for years now, but, you know, just regular oil changes type situation is. Man, come on. What's happening here? Oh, I see what's happening. We aren't even close to right. That's why. Silly me thinking that we'd get it right the first time. No, there we go. Come on, you. There. Alright. Now we are going to really say our prayers that this is going to work, because we don't want to have to take the whole tractor apart. I don't think we will now, but you just never know what is going to befall us next. It is a constant adventure. Okay, we got that done. Now we need, did I seriously grab I think I grabbed the wrong wrench a while ago. I meant to grab the 9/16 and I grabbed the old 14mm. And you'd think they were close enough to work, but they just ain't in this case. Okay. That's fine. We're an old hand at cobbling. We can make do with substandard equipment here. Now the other thing we I'm gonna do, because I know I'll end up doing the exact opposite here in a minute, is I'm gonna tighten this jam nut so this bottom piece doesn't rotate anymore. But I'm betting you, and I might be wrong, just wondering if my high idle speed's gonna be too much. What's happening here? Oh, that was it's moving on the ball. Okay. We're gonna call that what we want. We're gonna reach there and turn the gas on. We're gonna leave it at idle first so we can impress ourselves with how pretty it idles. And then we're going to turn that key. Come on, baby. Oh, listen to that little sweetie purr. Now we're gonna rev it up a little bit. Yes. Okay, I see a problem that's about to happen. It is working, but my cotter pin is about to fall out. Can I do it without losing a finger? Well, I'm sure this is not approved in the safety manual, but you guys like it so well when I follow safety procedures. Plus, we got 10 fingers, so if we lose one, you know what's one. Okay, now, what's happening there? Maybe that's just an illusion. All right, back to the governor. I got distracted again. I think we got us something now. That's awesome. So, yeah. I'm gonna say we got her licked. So our next order of business, I guess we'll drive it up to the house, and that'll give us a good test drive with, I can hit the brakes and see if the governor kicks in and whatnot. Although I did leave stuff parked in the way now, so I gotta move that first. All right, friends, I don't want to get too excited, but the preliminary drive was really good. You could step on the brakes and you had governor action. So we will finish this part and then we will give her another test run, like up and down the driveway and stuff. We're going to put in new plugs, which we might regret, you know. It might start running worse, but I don't think they've been changed in many, many moons. We're also going to change this out. That's why I did that. In case you wondered why when I said plugs and then took the distributor cap off. Because we also were waiting on the auto parts store to have a rotor. And I talked to them about making sure they keep that stuff in stock, because if they look back over my account, I buy many, many, many of these sets every single year. So I want to make sure that they have it on hand. Now, should we make sure it still runs after doing that? Because, oh yeah, you just never know anymore these days. And I really, I don't want to screw it up at this point. Is this the size? He says as he ruins the temperature sender. No. would be this one. I grabbed the wrong one. Yep. Should he also get an extension? Why, those come out just as easy as butter right there. They really don't look too bad, but I feel like it's tune-up time. We're in it this far. Another little few dollars doesn't amount to much in the grand scheme of having things nice. So the gap looks good. So we're gonna go with that. Get that off of there. There's one. Gosh, that phone is constantly going off. It's kind of driving me nuts. See, that one is not only, I don't know if you can see that or not, it's actually burnt the tip of the electrode at an angle. So that plug is on its way out of town. So again, that's why we're doing this now instead of waiting for failure. It would make much more sense to give it a complete tune-up whilst we're this far. And no, I did not straighten that fan shroud yet. The one viewer said it was giving him Forrest Whitaker eye, but I did not mess with the fan shroud at this point. That would be a project for another day, or possibly restoration day, whenever that day might come. But it's not today's project. It's not affecting anything right now. That one looks pretty good. It's not as burnt like the one before. Which means the little engine is healthy. That's what we want. I mean, we didn't want to see death and destruction and oil coverage and, you know, that type of thing. Boy, she looks spiffy though, don't she? No leaks. That's what I like. That one's burnt too. The tip of the electrode is burned at an angle. So they were ready to be replaced. There we go. Now, will she start and run just as good as she did a minute ago? Better, I think. Oh, what a sweetheart. What a little sweetheart. Just purrs along. I do, before we go, I'll do that in a minute since I just had it running. I want to check the oil again. Make sure it's totally topped off now that it's had a chance to circulate through the filter. Yeah. I think it needs a little bit more oil. Give it a little more, just. That's actually the oil I bought for Freddie, but it's all the same stuff. Comes out of the same jugs. It's so clean. It's hard to read. And I'm pretty sure it's up to the full mark now. Well, take that back. It might be, it's up to the F. So I'm going to give it a little bit more. He can monitor the situation, which I know he does because he uses it all the time. Every week to mow, except now when it doesn't rain for a month. Then you don't really need to mow that much. Yeah, we're going to call that good. Alright, let's take her for a little spin. Oop. I think he might be in the market for a clutch pretty soon as well. But that day might be today. Why is it not? Before we start, I'm gonna see if I can adjust his clutch a little bit. This is the portion of the show where we regret our life choices, but I don't like that clutch. I think it's way too loose. Can it be adjusted though? Ooh. Okay, it's different. I can feel it just touch the fingers just right there, but it actually, man, I know nothing about this. Does it just squeeze on that shaft, or do you think it has an actual keyway? Why it can't just be simple, you know? I wish I knew. I wish I knew what was in there before I'd make a terrible decision. But if it has no key, then it's probably just that it's spun on the shaft over the years. I'm gonna read real quick and then we'll see. Okay, from what I gathered reading, all you have to do is loosen the bolt, you stick something through that hole, and you turn it this way till you feel it touch the fingers. It says within 3/16 of an inch. So that's good, because that means there is a chance. I should have known. You know what this is? 5/8 and 11/16. I guarantee you, because old Harry, he liked that. He liked that setup. Well, I take that back. It's not 5/8. I bet they're both 11/16. Because they ain't 3/4. So let me go get tools. Does this fit through the hole? I think this will fit through that hole to rotate. So we're good there. Okay, Harry. We're getting you today. We got this licked now. We're gonna get you somehow. Come on. We dropped our screwdrivers, and that's good. Okay, see, that's cute. The game we're gonna play there is called Can't Get It Loose. There we go. Oh, there, we felt it slip up or something. I don't think it's spun yet. There, it's spun. Okay. So now, we got all our clutch pedal up. This is quite the endeavor with this radius rod on here. Oh, there's a return spring in there. Okay, how am I gonna do this? I ain't got enough hands. If I jam my foot up against the clutch pedal, and then tighten that, or that down. Oh! For my next trick, I will contortion my body into positions that they have not been in years. God dang, I fell off my bucket. Well, we're gonna have a do-over on that because that didn't work. I gotta hold this up. I gotta rotate that around in there. This is nuts, friends. That ain't enough. Come on, now. Seriously? Okay, what are we gonna do here? I bet there's a much easier way to do this than the way that I am doing. But if there is, you can tell me in the comments how I did it wrong. Now the phone's ringing, but I got news for you, phone. I can't answer. I had a hard enough time getting in this position in the first place. All right, that contortion act is done, but I think we got us a clutch now. It feels much more better. So let's try again. Now. Oh yeah, look at how that just drops in every gear. Yep, that's what we wanted. Good deal. On the brake and see if it runs. Yep. Yep. I think we got it now. Let's put her in high. What a little sweetheart. Listen to it just purr along. And look at it not dripping anything. Cool. Alright, well, I'm going to call that a success. And thank heavens we did not end up having to take it all apart again. I don't know why it's adjusted like it is, like I said, but it works. So I'm not going to question it. The only thing I could possibly think of, and this might be total nonsense, maybe the new governor and the old governor, the diameter of those steel balls is slightly different, so the new governor doesn't throw it out as far, and that's why it's so out of whack, because a little movement there translates to a lot of movement on the outside and the arms. So that's the only thing I could think of. I never compared them side by side, you know, and held it up. I just assumed that that's what it was and it would work. So, but I'm super thrilled that this problem is fixed, and hopefully this will take care of him for a good long while, you know, because this wasn't cheap, you know. I hate to say that to people, but with the way parts are anymore, it just doesn't take a long time to run up a pretty good sized bill. So we're doing the best we can, but I think for what he got, pretty good value, because he's got a lot better than what he had before. Not just because he couldn't use it before, but the other stuff I did while I had it apart, it's gonna last him a while, is what I'm saying. So that is sweet. I will call him and tell him, and I'll probably drive it back over there tomorrow and he can give me a ride home. So awesome. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up and leave a comment. That stuff doesn't cost anything, and it helps me out a lot, make the channel bigger and better, and then I can keep making videos on old tractors and whatnot. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.